Fortunately or unfortunately, depends how you look at it. Manchester United are back in action this weekend. This time we're facing Spurs at 5:30 on Saturday. And after the drumming at the hands of City last week, nothing but 3 points will change any sort of narrative. I'm not sure the narrative can really be changed in a season which is really running away from us in the Premier League. But hey, if it is going to, it has to start with Spurs on Saturday. So what I'll do in this video is run through Spurs' last game against Everton, take a look at the Premier League table, and then take a look at how tactically this game could set up against Antonio Conte's very likely 5-3-2. Make sure you subscribe to United People's TV before I do get into this. Head down there, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell as well. You get a ping every time I go live with a video. But let's talk about this game against Spurs, because rewind a couple of months ago and we smashed Spurs 3-0 away from home. It was the game where Nuno Espirito Santo got the sack after. It was a game that United dominated. It was a game that was perfect time, really, to play Spurs. However, right now, maybe not the best time to play Spurs after they pumped Everton 5-0. Real demolition job from Antonio Conte's side. And it leaves them in the Premier League right next to Manchester United. They've still got 2 games in hand on us. But look at that table, eh? Right now, we are 1 point behind Arsenal. But they've got 3 games in hand on us in this race for the top 4, which is, in my opinion, just completely and utterly out of Manchester United's hands now. We're not favourite in any way, shape or form. That is Arsenal for that top 4 finish. A team who've really hit form under Arteta, whereas United last 5 games, drawn 2 and lost 1. Spurs, as I said, they're 2 points behind us, but 2 games in hand on us. We have to win this game, and if we don't win this game, then we're hoping that both Spurs and Arsenal both balls up between now and the end of the season. Very, very unlikely. But more importantly, what's the team going to be? It was the starting 11 that played against City last weekend. It was a team that got absolutely, well and truly destroyed by City. If we're looking at the weak points, well, I mean, where do you really start? And the weak points were absolutely everywhere for Manchester United. It was just a game where, in the first half, we set up perfectly. We won the ball in these areas here, and we hit hard and fast on the counter-attack. It was exactly what you wanted United to do, and it worked perfectly with, of course, that man, Sancho, coming up with a wonderful finish. The equalised for United before our impending collapse happened not so long after. Now, the big tactical difference that happened in this game was Bruno Fernandes played as a false 9. What's your opinion on how he got on in that game? I'll be honest, I was excited about the idea of Bruno as a false 9. I felt that on paper it kind of suited his slightly erratic style of play. It allowed us to play without Cristiano Ronaldo. Edinson Cavani's been injured, although he's back in training, I think, ahead of this game. Rafael Varane's in training ahead of this game. Luke Shaw, I don't believe he's back in training, but let's see what happens. And, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo. Will he be fit to play? There really are a lot of question marks about not only the starting 11, but who's actually going to be fit. Now, the player that I absolutely want to be fit for this game, Rafa Varane, man. I've got a different level of confidence about our team's defense when we've got Varane in compared to when we don't have him in. Simply put, he's just by far and away a different level of IQ of defender compared to everything else we've got inside our ranks. Will we see Wan-Bissaka starting here against Spurs? I hope not. With the wing-backs that no doubt Spurs are going to use. Was that Sessegnon over there? Was that Ben Davies? Was that Doherty over on the right-hand side? They're playing with a 3 at the back. They're going to play Antonio Conte football. We know exactly how they're going to play. And when you're looking at dangerous players, you know who their dangerous players are. You've got Son there. You've got Kane there. And I tell you who's settled in pretty well. Their new signing, was it Kudalewski? Whatever his name is. I don't know. It's going to probably be Bentancur and Højbjerg in the midfield. Spurs have got their system, and it's working well now. It certainly worked well against Everton. Let's not say that beating Everton is a measure of a good team right now, because Everton are hopefully going down. Let's see anyway. But I'm probably hoping for that back 5 there. De Gea with Lindelof alongside Varane. I kind of just stand by the fact that Lindelof and Varane is our best centre-back partnership. Sorry, Maguire. It's just the truth. Absolutely is the truth about Manchester United's defence. Saying that, just the whole defence was absolutely abysmal against City, wasn't it? So I'm hoping for some sort of difference. Where will the difference come from? I don't know. Will the difference come from maybe pressing higher with a bit more intensity up here instead of sort of sitting deep and sitting on the counter attack? We obviously won't play like that against Spurs, right? That was a tactical decision by Rangnick to sit deep and hit hard and fast on the counter attack against City. It's a tactic which worked for Solskjaer. That's why we won 3 times in a row at the Etihad. It's a tactic which worked in the first half against City. The tactic which collapsed in the second half when Guardiola made a bit of a tactical switch. United and Rangnick didn't react, and then the game just slipped away from us. So the big questions, I suppose, really rely around whether you think Ronaldo's going to be fit or not to start this game. My opinion on it's pretty clear. Even if Ronaldo's fit to start this game, I don't want him to start this game. Ronaldo has to be rested fully for this game against Atletico Madrid. I think if we're gonna, he's gonna be the difference maker. We know he's going to be the difference maker on, what was it, Tuesday night against Atletico. We can't consider starting him in this game. So the question really is, how do we set up without Ronaldo? And the question marks are pretty pretty substantial because who else have we got? Edinson Cavani's been training this week. Do we know if Cavani's fit or not? No, we don't. Would you play Rashford through the middle, given the form that Rashford's been in this season? You probably wouldn't. So I don't really know what's going to be happening in midfield here. I'll be completely and utterly honest. This starting 11 is extremely hard to predict because we don't know about the fitness of certain players like Ronaldo, like Varane, like Shaw, although I don't think Shaw's going to be fit to start in this game. And then because of that, it throws everything up in the air. I personally think he's going to be sticking with Fred and McTominay. I think hopefully we're going to move. We kind of saw them dropping into a bit of a midfield too against City. That was the style of play. But I kind of want us to match up a little bit here. Bentancur and Højbjerg up against Fred and Pogba with McTominay sitting as that number 6. Or maybe this is the game where we see this happen. Maybe this is the game where we see Matic come in from the start. When Matic tries to control it from the start and McTominay comes on for his energy towards the end of the game. I actually thought that was what we were going to see more of this season. When we started switching to the 4-3-3, I thought it was going to be Matic playing there more often and McTominay coming off the bench. But instead, McTominay's sort of grown into that role. I'm not saying he's been great at it, because he hasn't been great at it. And the game against City was a game that largely passed him by. So maybe Matic will come in from the start here. Hell, I'm going to put him down there. So I'm going to go for Matic, Fred, and for Pogba in midfield. Now, again, the City game, the Atletico game, both of them kind of passed Paul Pogba by. But nobody can argue with the fact that he is one of our most influential players and he should be starting this game. And the question marks really, as I said, what do you think about Bruno playing there again in the false 9? Because it didn't really work against City. But did anything really work against City? In the first half, yes, it did. In the second half, no, it didn't. I would definitely 100% keep that man in that starting 11. And I keep that. I'm fine with Elanga and Sancho being our 2 starting wingers at the moment. The question I have all revolves around that position. It's what happens when you've got a 37-year-old striker and a 35-year-old striker as your 2 options, and both of them are injured. And the only other option you've really got is Marcus Rashford, who's not really a striker. We know that. He's a left winger. It's his best position by far and away is there. And because Sancho's bang in form and Rashford's bang out of form, Rashford can't get in there. Maybe you'll see Rashford coming up there and he'll play as the number 9. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think he's probably going to stick with Bruno as the false 9 with a midfield 3 there of Matic, Fred and Pogba. Because when it comes to the space for Manchester United, we know that there's going to be space here and we know that there's going to be space there. That's what happens when you play in a 3-5-2. Typically, the centre-backs will probably sit a little bit tighter than I've got them down there. And we know that Doherty, and I can't remember, is it Sessegnon who plays left back? Is it Reguilon? I don't know who plays completely there for them. But there will be space here for the balls in behind being played from Pogba in those sorts of positions. From Bruno, if he was to drop deep, and we know Bruno's going to drop deep, in those sorts of positions. Finding those balls in there, making runs to the edge of the box, and Elanga or Sancho getting cutbacks to Bruno or Pogba on the edge. It's probably going to be Man United's main way of attacking against Spurs. Whether it works or not, well, I suppose we'll find out on Saturday night. But it's my birthday on Sunday, man. United, don't go and ruin it. Come on. Saturday night at 5:30 kickoff. Can't even go out properly until the game's done. Just so selfish of United. But look, this is the 11 that I think United will start with. I think it'll be a back five there of Telles and Dalot on the wings with Lindelof and Varane in the middle. Yes, I'm dropping Harry Maguire. Yes, that's the right thing to do. De Gea, of course, stays in goal. A midfield three of Matic, Fred and Pogba. Of course, you can have question marks about whether Matic will be right to play in that role and whether he'd have the legs to do it, especially given that Son and Kane are going to operate in this position and they're so dangerous together. They really, really are. And Kudelevsky really has settled in quite well at Spurs. Uh, I'm nervous about this game. You're nervous about this game. I'm more nervous about the game on Tuesday. That's why there's no chance I would start Ronaldo, even if he was fit for this game. We need him 100% fit for that game against Atletico. You start him here against Spurs, you're probably going to aggravate an injury. You're probably going to mean he's going to go into that Atletico Madrid not as fit as he could be. And I'd rather draw or lose this game and give us a bigger chance of winning that game against Atletico Madrid, because as far as I'm concerned, looking at the league table right there, mate, Arsenal, if they don't get top four from that position, Jesus, they may as well just retire as a football club. But we're playing this weekend against a Spurs team which battered Everton 5-0. What's your prediction for the starting 11? What's your prediction for the game? Let me know what you think in the comments below, as always, and make sure you subscribe to United People's TV, people. But please come on United. Don't do that again like we did against City. Repeat the 3-0 early this season against Spurs would be nice.